Good day. My name is Sharai Matizamuka, and I'll be taking you through your visual literacy lesson, and we'll be looking at advertisements. But before we go into that, we want to understand what is advertising. Advertising is a message designed to promote a product, a service, or an idea. These messages are shown to the public via the media by means of newspapers, magazines, radio, television, or billboards. And nowadays, with social media, we often see advertisements on our cell phones when we're scrolling through various media platforms. Now we want to find out, how are advertisements made successful? Advertisements make use of emotive and persuasive means. A successful advertisement will make use of one or more of these following techniques. One being creativity, the use of emotion, the use of reason, the use of using facts, and also including opinions on the advertisement. You will notice that most of the advertisements that we will look at throughout this presentation consist of one or more of these techniques. As we go through the presentation, look out for these techniques. Now let's jump into it and look at the first two advertisements. The first advertisement with the woman holding up the chips. You may be familiar with Katy Perry. This is an advertisement that makes use of celebrity endorsement. Therefore, you have people who are fans of Katy Perry or fans of her music buying the chips because she is simply on the advertisement. And this is one of more techniques that advertisers often use to have people buying their products. Let's take a closer look at the title of the advertisement. It is a great example of language use because the title is a pun. The title has multiple meanings. One of the meanings could be, you can still have the love for pop chips without having to worry about gaining weight. Because love handles is a term used to describe someone who is slightly overweight. Notice the full stop after the word love. This separates it from the second sentence, yet still connects the two sentences because the second sentence does not start with a capital letter. Take note of the way she is holding up the chips. It almost looks like she is holding up weights. This supports the idea that these chips are potentially good for your health as the brand is trying to promote. Now let's switch from Katy Perry and look at the next ad, which is our favorite drink that we all love to drink and we enjoy. And it just looks like this. It says, share a Coke with. The sizes of the Coke and the names on the bottle gives the impression that there are many people in this family with different sizes and ages and personalities. The idea of family is further emphasized with the words family and names like Mama and Papa on the bottles. The inclusion of these names on this ad further emphasizes the fact that the Coke can be shared with anyone and everyone. Also notice how the bottles are touching each other. It almost looks like they are making a toast, and we associate making a toast with good news and celebrations. Now, with every advertisement, it has a certain type of person or people it is trying to reach. And in advertising, we call this the target market. So the target market is a certain group of people that the advertisement is trying to reach so that they buy the product. And it may be divided into age, gender, social class, and interest. Every advertisement you see, as we've already mentioned, has a group of people it is trying to reach. Advertisers use the fact that buyers classify themselves in order to create an advertisement to appeal to those in a classified group. For example, advertisers will create advertisements mainly focused at teenagers, and it will have images and words that they often use, or computer geeks. It will have certain types of computers that they use, people in corporate, and gym fanatics. Advertisers do not only just create advertisers for a certain group, but they have a certain principle that they use to make sure that advertisements are more successful and they prompt buyers to actually get the product. And this principle that they used is referred to as the AIDA principle. The AIDA principle, with the A standing for attention, the I standing for interest, the D standing for desire, and lastly, the last A standing for action, is an acronym that describes the stages of the advertising process, which flows like this: obtaining the attention of the consumer with the advertisement, getting their interest in the product or service being advertised, and that interest is maintained until they feel a desire to own the product, and finally, they take action by buying the product that is being advertised. Now we're going to look at each AIDA element closely by firstly looking at attention. Attention, an effective advertisement successfully grabs the attention of the audience. This can be done by an eye-catching image, clever use of language, attractive font and focal point, catchy headlines, and use of color and lighting. So we will look at various examples of each component of how an advertisement can grab the attention of the buyer. Let's have a look at these two images that have caught our eye already. Look at the first image. Your attention is on the picture of the lady who seems to be melting away. And you wonder why. When you look closely, you notice that the company that is being advertised is a yoga company. With the picture of the lady with her flesh almost melting away, they are suggesting that working out with them will yield the same results, where you will see your fat disappear right in front of you. This is an example of how an eye-catching image grabs your attention and makes you actually interested in the product being advertised. Now let's have a look at the second one. In the second image, your eye is caught by the rather odd-looking hand holding up the leaves or the tree. The image says a lot. For example, the hand is slightly aged, and it insinuates that the person trying to propel the message is older, and therefore we are deemed to take the message more seriously. Another way advertisers can grab your attention is with clever use of language. Clever use of language is usually perhaps in the title or in the slogans that might be on the advertisement. As we look here on our slide, the first advertisement on the slide makes use of the repetition of Pringle bells, Pringle bells. This technique draws the consumer's attention to the Pringles being advertised. Secondly, saying Pringle bells alludes to the song Jingle Bells, and which is a Christmas song. This image is further expanded by the Pringles coming out of the can and looking like a Christmas tree. And by the advertisers doing this, they're suggesting that Pringles are the best snacks that you should include in your festive celebrations. Now let's look at the second ad. The second ad makes use of a question to grab the reader's attention. This is another example of language used that can be used to grab the attention of the buyer. Here the question is, how big must the letter be so we'll stop ignoring it? And let's look at the last one here on the slide. The last one, the medicine is described as beastly strong, is a metaphor which emphasizes the strength you will get from drinking this medicine. This metaphor can influence people into thinking that their medicine makes you stronger than any other medicine that you can try buying. The use of language can come in many forms. It can either be the use of informal language, informative language, and emotive language. When it comes to informal language, the use of common language will be present on the advertisements. The words used will be easier to understand, and you can also expect to see the use of slang. For example, with words such as house it, slap chips, those are common informal languages that we often use from day to day. These techniques ensure that the advertisement is easy to reach people and grab their attention. There is also use of informative language on the advertisement. That usually tells the consumer about the specifics of the product. For example, if it is a vegan-friendly product, the product will say, or perhaps the product shouldn't be used by people with a certain allergic reaction, or certain beliefs. That's the type of informative language that you'll find there. And lastly, emotive language. The advertisement will make use of this type of language so that the consumers have an emotional reaction to the product being advertised and therefore are persuaded to buy the product. Continuing further, looking at the different techniques that advertisers use to grab your attention, the use of attractive font and a focal point. On the first advertisement, you can see the name of the product and the celebrity name are in bold and in all caps. The advertiser is ensuring that you, as the consumer, you don't miss the name of the brand and the celebrity endorsing the brand. There's a lot of writing on the ad, but note that the larger font is all the important things the advertiser wants you to know, and the other written stuff on the ad are informative about the product. In contrast to the second ad, the font seems more playful because the message of the advertisement is one that represents a fantasy world, and there's less writing, and the focal point is on the princess running, and that resembles Cinderella holding a cup of coffee from Mac Cafe. Lastly, the focal point of the third advertisement is the Heineken bottle and the hand that is going through the bottle. Since the ad is advertising the 31st of October, which is Halloween, the image suggests that the bottle of beer is a ghost as well. Therefore, buying the beer will scare you more and at the same time will make you enjoy your Halloween even more. The use of catchy headlines is also a way that advertisers use to grab the attention of the buyer. Let's have a look at the first advertisement. The artwork is made out of words, and also notice how only half of the donkey is in words and the other half is drawn, which puts emphasis on the message that half of the world artists have not yet moved online. And the half that you're seeing that is painted is those artists that are online, and the words represent the ones that have not yet moved online. The second advertisement, all you can eat rest stop. These words are normally used to refer to a buffet where you can eat everything you want. And here there's a woman eating the cards, which makes the message more comical and puts emphasis on the message of the advertisement that at this rest stop you can get everything you want to eat. The use of color is quite significant. Note that with the first advertisement, the couple is wearing all black, and we usually associate black with sophistication, and this suggests that the product is sophisticated. There is no use of bright colors except the yellow near the girl's hair that leads your eyes to the bottom of the advertisement where you actually see the actual product that is being advertised. The second advertisement is a white background so that the different colors in the magnum can be seen, and these represent the different flavors that you'll be enjoying in this magnum. Lastly, looking at the last advertisement, the orange background resembles the color of the bag of Doritos. The background being plain and only of a single color puts attention on the logo of the brand and the writing on the advertisement. Now let's have a look at specifically the different effects that various colors have. We can look at just a few because we should know that color plays an important role in conveying information non-verbally. It creates different moods and also influences the decisions that people make. For example, the color red alludes love, energy, strength, and excitement, and we often associate the color green with nature, healing, freshness, and quality. And we can often associate orange with success and bravery. So as you can see, different colors have different impacts on you and how you interpret certain advertisements. And we'll keep note of these different impacts as we go through the presentation while we still look at more advertisements. Looking at the I in our AIDA principle that stands for interest. Once the audience's attention has been grabbed, the advert must sustain the consumer's interest. And this can be done by visual techniques such as the use of cartoons, statistics, colorful and attractive photos, um, clever language use. This can include slogans, puns, and emotive language. Getting the interest of the consumer is essential to them taking action to eventually buying the product. Let's have a look at a few examples. Here we have three advertisements, one that is advertising coffee, and one with Beyonce, and one that seems to be advertising a shower gel. The first advertisement is selling coffee. The writing above the coffee is everything inside the coffee. By the advertiser mentioning this, it makes the buyer think that the coffee they are purchasing from McCafe is not just any ordinary coffee. The fact that the words are right under each other suggests how compact this coffee is and how much is in this coffee. And also notice how the advertiser also mentions where the coffee beans are from. Mentioning where these coffee beans are from makes the buyer interested in the coffee because it seems more exotic and different from the ordinary coffee that they might have. The second advertisement is a celebrity endorsement, and as we might all see, it's Beyonce. The endorsement, which therefore promotes people even more to buy the product because it has Beyonce on it. The interest of the buyer is maintained because we want to know what is Beyonce it's selling. The last advertisement is advertising soap, or you can rather say shower gel. And the image suggests that using the soap on yourself, you will have all the tropical experiences on your body. So here the advertiser maintains the interest of the of the buyer by means of the images. As you can see in the last ad, the guy has all these, he has a volcano on his head, he has people on the beach on his chest. So therefore, the buyer's interest is maintained by all the images that are happening, and therefore you end up having to want to know what this product is so you can also have these tropical experiences on your body. Looking further, selling a service. Advertisements selling a service always include pictures that suggest that your life will be made better and easier. For example, the first advertisement, the couple is happy and dancing. This suggests that getting a loan from this company will not only make you happy but extend your happiness to your relationship. The second advertisement, the picture of the food is included in order to encourage you to get the food delivered to you. And it looks very tasty and fresh on the pictures. The last advertisement is of a lady leaving a car, and she looks really satisfied and thrilled to have used the service. So mostly advertisements selling a service will usually, like the food advertisement, really have really tasty food and make you want to buy it. And the ones selling loans or any type of other service will have people who look very satisfied with the product, and hence it promotes you to want to buy the product as well. Note that all these advertisements selling a service have one thing in common, and which is the company details such as the contact number or links to websites that show the customer where they can access the service. And we also have different. While we are still looking at advertisements that maintain your interest as the buyer, we will have a look at advertisements that call for social awareness or comment. Looking at the first advertisement that brings awareness to the culture of people using animals in a circus. The advertisement portrays this idea relatively well by having the monkey in a cage with clown makeup looking sad. The sadness is further portrayed by the tear that is drawn on the cheek of the monkey. This suggests that although the monkey performs to the people, these monkeys are doing it not by their own will and are being forced to do it, and this brings awareness to how unfair this is to them. Let's look at the second one. The second advertisement brings attention to the disastrous effect of smoking stubs when they are not disposed correctly. This message is emphasized by the picture of having a half-lit stub and on it is burning homes or buildings. In this way, the image shows the power of a single stub has. Therefore, this image prompts people to dispose of their stubs appropriately to avoid the chaos that is being portrayed in the image of the advertisement. The last advertisement is a social issue that makes awareness on child abuse. The darkness of the background draws our attention to the child's injuries. The inclusion of the message over the face of the child reminds us that abuse does not only leave physical bruises, but also mental ones, because the child remembers the eyes of the abuser, and this is an image that will haunt the child for a long time. After reading that line, your eyes immediately move to the corner of the image where the logo and the name of the organization is. So usually, these types of advertisements are there to gain awareness and to prompt people to make a change in how they live their lifestyles or support various causes that are very problematic in our society. Now we move to the D in our AIDA principle, which stands for desires. Advertisers have to appeal to the human desires by hinting those desires into their advertisement so that the consumers feel the urge to buy the product in hopes of their desires to be met. Desire can include, for example, just a few: a desire for companionship, a desire for adventure, a desire for wealth, a desire for beauty, and a desire for popularity. Basically, any desire a human has is valid, and advertisers will try to target those in their advertisements. So, next, we will look at different examples of advertisements that appeal to these 5 desires that we have mentioned. Let's have a look at the desire for companionship. Some advertisers will appeal to people who are lonely or in need of companionship. The advertisers will make use of adverts that make it seem like their product is the solution to loneliness. For example, the advertisement of the Coke. It gives the impression that drinking the Coke will make you happy with whomever you're drinking it with. And the Gucci perfume suggests that using it will make you more desirable. Therefore, you will have people buying the perfume in hopes that it makes them more desirable, like the picture on the ad suggests. We also have people with a desire for adventure. Most advertisements that appeal to people with a need for adventure usually have images of people engaging in these adventurous activities. In this way, the consumer desires to have the experience like the people in the pictures. These pictures sometimes can be misleading. For example, the picture of the elephant and the tourist on foot. In reality, when you go on a safari drive, they won't allow you to get that close with the animals, or even the animals themselves. They won't want to get close to you. And have a look at these examples on this slide. Most of them highlight the types of activities that you can find at those resorts. And then you have people with a desire for wealth. These types of advertisements usually appear to people who have a desire of wealth. Therefore, buying a perfume from the ad that says "the scent of my success" will convince those selective individuals that they are living up to their wealthy lifestyle they desire. Even the second ad, it suggests that having a new BMW will really prove that you are indeed a business athlete. But in reality, success is not enhanced by the type of cars you drive. Therefore, this is how advertisers appeal to people who desire wealth and make them think that their products will fulfill that desire. There's also a desire for beauty. And this is often, especially, but it is getting more prominent with women. Looking at these ads together that are advertising women beauty products, they have one thing in common, which is the inclusion of an attractive woman on the advertisement. This makes a woman desire the beauty that these women have and inevitably think that when they purchase these products, they too will be as beautiful as the women in these pictures. And there are some with a desire for popularity. For these three advertisements, we'll just have a look at briefly how they prompt a desire for popularity from the consumer. Look at the first advertisement. It says, America's favorite mascara. Is it really America's favorite mascara? No, it is not. This is a way the advertiser is getting a woman to think that the product that they are using is a product that everyone else is using. And that way, it makes you think that perhaps it must be a really good product, and which is far from the truth. The second advertisement is of pizza, and it shows a group of people eating one slice of pizza. The advertiser is suggesting to the consumer that the product is best enjoyed by a lot of people, and if you perhaps have the pizza with your friend, you'll be very happy as the people in the image. The last ad makes use of the statistic that over 1 million people have switched to using that toothpaste. This is there to make you feel left out and influence you into getting the supposedly popular toothpaste. Now we have a look at the last A in the AIDA principle, which is action. Not only must the advertisers get the attention of the consumer, but they must also ensure that the consumer acts in response to the advert. By taking action by buying the product, because the advertisement was just too convincing and the consumers feel the need to have the product. Advertisers also make use of gimmicks like the ones below to encourage the purchasing of a product. For example, you can find advertisements that often say buy one, get one free, or 50% off, or the word sale in bold and in red. And these are there to promote you into buying the product. So, information that you often find on an advertisement. On an advertisement, you often find the logo. This is the graphic or symbol of a brand that, or you can often refer to it as the signature of the brand. And you can often find the slogan, which is a memorable phrase, which is a short, memorable phrase that is associated with a brand. For example, we have with McDonald's, I'm loving it, Nike, just do it. Those are a few examples of slogans. And then you have copy. This is other written information which usually appears in small print on the advertisement. And you have graphics, which are usually illustrations of the product or a message that illustrate what the product is selling or the service. And we even have more techniques used by advertisers, and we call these forced lines. A forced line leads your eye to the company name or logo. Note that the arrows on the advertisement indicate the forced lines. So let's have a look at this advertisement. Notice how the way the words are written on the advertisement leads your eye to the company name, which is Sure. Also note how the penguins in the advertisement are facing the right, and that is also a forced line created by the advertiser because it forces you still to look into the right bottom corner where the company logo is. We go further into looking at other techniques, the effect of white spaces. They center the attention of the ad to a single part of the advertisement. For example, safe and steady win the race. Here, notice how the white spaces give you the opportunity to figure out the image, because the image carries an essential message. Here, the advertisers are saying that their safety equipment they provide is as good as the shell of a turtle. Goodbye, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson.